There we go. How is everybody today? Hope everybody's all right. I'm going to do some live for a little bit, so if you want to talk, feel free to ask questions. Oh, going to clean my. Oh, need that, need that. So, all right. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good day today. It is Thursday, and I'm going to knock some others out real quick. Weather's every. Okay, knock that one out. Weather every 30 minutes on WFIR. Your forecast tonight, mostly cloudy with a 30% chance of a shower, possibly a thunderstorm. The low getting down to around 66. On Friday, partly sunny, 30% chance of a shower, possibly a thunderstorm. And the high near 87. Friday night, mostly cloudy, 40% chance of a shower. And the low around 68. Weather every 30 minutes on News Talk 960 AM and FM 107.3 WFIR. Depend on it. All right. Weather every 30 minutes on WFIR. Your forecast today, partly sunny with a 30% chance of a shower, possibly a thunderstorm. The high near 87. Tonight, mostly cloudy, 40% chance of a shower, possibly a thunderstorm, and the low around 68. On Saturday, showers and thunderstorms likely, high near 84 with the low around 62. Weather every 30 minutes on News Talk 960 AM and FM 107.3 WFIR. Depend on it. Every 30 minutes on WFIR. Your forecast today, partly sunny with a 30% chance of a shower. Weather every 30 minutes. Your Sports Radio weather update for tonight. Mostly cloudy with a 30% chance of a shower, possibly a thunderstorm. The low around 66 on Friday. Partly sunny, 30% chance of a shower, possibly a thunderstorm. And the high near 87. Friday night, mostly cloudy, 40% chance of a shower, possibly a thunderstorm. And the low around 68. And on Saturday, showers, could see some thunderstorms in the area. High near 86 and the low around 62. You're up to date on Sports Radio WPLY. And your Sports Radio weather update for tonight. Mostly cloudy with a 30% chance of a shower, possibly a thunderstorm. The low around 66 on Friday. Partly sunny, 30% chance of a shower, possibly a thunderstorm. And the high near 87. Friday night, mostly cloudy, 40% chance of a shower, possibly a thunderstorm. And the low around 68. And on Saturday, showers, could see some thunderstorms. There we go. Your Sports Radio weather update for overnight tonight. Mostly cloudy with a 40% chance of showers, possibly a thunderstorm. The low getting down to around 65. Later today, partly sunny, 40% chance of a shower, and the high near 87. Friday night, mostly cloudy, 60% chance of a shower, possibly a thunderstorm, and the low around 68. And on Saturday, showers, thunderstorms likely, high near 86 with the low around 62. You're up to date on Sports Radio WPLY. Hey guys, how are you today? I am doing some weathers real quick here, so bear with me. I have been trying this vlogging deal, so hang in there with me. got to put the music bed down. So all right. Weather every 30 minutes on WFIR. Your forecast tonight, mostly cloudy with a 30% chance of a shower, possibly a thunderstorm. The low getting down to around 66. On Friday, partly sunny, 30% chance of a shower, possibly a thunderstorm. And the high near 87. Friday night, mostly cloudy, 40% chance of a shower, and the low around 68. Weather every 30 minutes on News Talk 960 AM and FM 107.3 WFIR. Depend on it. Well, Adrian, I work at a radio station in Roanoke, Virginia, and right now I'm just cutting some audio. I'm doing some weathers for the radio station here. They will run this evening and overnight tonight. So that's what, we're doing right now. But other than that, I'm just talking, but I'm knocking some things out before we get into some conversations. But thank you for the question, though. I appreciate it. And I hope I got your name right. I hope it wasn't, I think it was it Adrian? I'm sorry if I didn't get your name right. It popped up quick. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. There you go. Are you doing all right today? I hope so. It did get sunny on us. I'm on the East Coast here, and we've been going through some heavy rain today. The last couple of days, some flooding in Virginia and Maryland. So I hope you've had a good day today. I know I have. With that sun out, it makes everything a little bit better. Weather every 30 minutes on WFIR. Your forecast today, partly sunny with a 30% chance of a shower, possibly a thunderstorm. The high near 87. Tonight, mostly cloudy, 40% chance of a shower, possibly a thunderstorm, and the low around 68. On Saturday. Right. Yeah, we do two different radio stations. So you'll hear one with FIR, which is one of the oldest radio stations in the United States. And in the state of Virginia, we just celebrated our 100th anniversary. So our 100th birthday, the station came about in 1924. So we just celebrated that, and the governor and everybody gave us, big awards and everything like that. So, and then the second one you'll hear is a sports station that we have, and I do the weathers for both of those. And then at 5 o'clock this afternoon, East Coast time, we do a sports show for 2 hours a day. So, but really, I'm just one of these. I'm one of these old guys that likes to do the content creation, and so you'll see the lip sync videos and the shorts and things like that. So I'm trying the long form version of maybe doing some lives and seeing who's coming in the lives and asking questions and things like that. For someone who talks on the radio every day, I'm finding this right here to be very difficult, and I don't know why. And I guess it's just to the point that I can I can see who's listening. I can see who's watching. Where when you're on the radio, you really don't know who's out there listening and who's out there consuming your content. This right here, that little button up at top says, "Hey, there's two, there's three, there's four people in the room with you." So it gets a little, for some reason, trying to think of things to talk about, and not just sit there and talk. That's one of the things I go through. But in front of a microphone, I don't have that issue. But when it comes to YouTube and vlogging and things like that, I am finding this extremely difficult. And I've been in this business for 40 years. And so um, when you pop up and ask questions and things like that, it really helps because it gives you, the topic to talk about. I guess I could, come up and, we could start just talking about anything random. And I guess, but, it helps when you just kind of say, one of the stories, big stories in sports right now is Pete Rose and him coming off of the banned list for Major League Baseball. But who knows if you're a baseball fan. It's the same here. I can't watch it. Right. So, it's hard when it goes to these live feeds. Some people, it amazes me to sit there and watch them, and they're on for hours and can just talk and talk and talk. And I don't see how they do it. It really, I guess, just answering the questions and going that flow of things, but it's hard. It really is when you get to a point of just doing everything cold and going that direction with it. At least with us on the radio, they give us topics, and then we can discuss what's going on there on the radio. And like I said, we do sports, but if you're not a sports fan, I can bring up sports all day. And if you're not a sports fan, well, the first thing you're going to do is go away. And so, but other than that, it's just, you try to figure it out. I'm trying, and then you're trying to get the hours so that, you can get paid uh, to do these videos and to try to do these lives. And so you need the 4,000 hours. And right now I'm averaging about 2,600, hours on average. So, I've got to make longer content. And so I think going live may be the way of doing the longer content. And because the short videos, you can get 5,000 views on a short video, but what's it really giving you if it's only 2 or 3 seconds long? So it's this YouTube world is a very strange world. But I'm not I don't do the video games. So that, I know a lot of people like to watch the people do the video games. One of the biggest comments I get every time I do a short is whose grandpa is this because of the white beard. And, the comments you always come back with is, I'm not a grandpa, I'm Santa Claus, but that's, somebody needs to come and get their granddad. So you laugh about that because, looking like Santa, it does, help. Let me put this down real quick. I did see a story today. Your Sports Radio weather update for tonight, where someone got shot at Popeye's Chicken for they had burnt the biscuits, and the gentleman got so upset he went and evidently shot the person who was cooking the biscuits. And that was at a Popeye's Chicken somewhere here in the United States. But what in the world is that about?
Your Sports Radio weather update for tonight.
I've never had any food that I'm like, I'm so disgusted, I feel like I have to shoot somebody over. You know, now the price of it, that's a different story. But no, evidently somebody had burnt biscuits and he was unhappy. And next thing you know, the guy, shot the cook. Makes you wonder what's wrong with this world these days. And then we saw the young lady the other day. I think it was in Pennsylvania, Delaware, somewhere like that. She was upset. Somebody had cut her off in traffic, and she ended up climbing up on top of the person's car and using the bathroom on the car. And now she's known as the little town that she was in. It's like now she's known as the pooper from that little town. But never in a million years, I get road rage and I get, people get upset, but never have I ever sat there and said, hey, here's what I'm going to do. You're going to make me so angry, I'm going to jump up on top of your car and use the bathroom. And the bad thing is they've got video of all this. So this young lady, she went viral basically because she's standing up on top of a car using the bathroom.
Your Sports Radio weather update for overnight
Definitely
tonight.
not something
Mostly
you want to
cloudy
go
with a
viral
40%
over,
chance
that's
for
for
showers,
sure.
possibly a thunderstorm. The low getting down to around 65 later today. Partly sunny, 40% chance of a shower, and the high near 87. Friday night, mostly cloudy, 60% chance of a shower, possibly a thunderstorm, and the low around 68. And on Saturday, showers, thunderstorms likely, high near 86 with the low around 62. You're up to date on Sports Radio WPLY.
All right.
Your Sports Radio weather update for tonight. Mostly cloudy with a 30% chance of a shower, possibly a thunderstorm. The low around 66 on Friday. Partly sunny, 30% chance of a shower, possibly a thunderstorm. And the high near 87. Friday night, mostly cloudy, 40% chance of a shower, possibly a thunderstorm. And the low around 68. And on Saturday, showers, could see some thunderstorms in the area. High near 86 and the low around 62. You're up to date on Sports Radio WPLY.
Okay. I've got those in. Okay, but let me see here. And I'll tell you Popeye's manager shot in drive-through over burnt biscuits. This was Charlotte Mecklenburg. The police department said that eyewitnesses, let's see, Popeye's manager was shot in the drive-through over burnt biscuits in North Carolina, according to TV station WSOC TV. Said one video shows two men fighting in a parking lot. Then you hear two shots ring out. Then you see one man is on the ground. Turns out they were both managers. Let's see. Said he was going in back and started arguing with the guy over the burnt biscuits. He took the plate with the burnt biscuits and threw it on the ground. Moments later, dashcam video shows the two men walking out of the Popeyes. Another video from eyewitness shows the victim throwing punches first. Then the suspect pulls a gun and fires. Seconds later, the video shows the gunman walking back into the restaurant as those inside scurried away. But he got shot basically over burning biscuits. Yeah. Police identified the young man as a 22-year-old gentleman, Rodney Wood. He is facing a charge of attempted murder. The victim was shot twice, but is currently recovering. So, and let's see. And then this was 2 weeks ago. It was in Pennsylvania. Ridley Park woman is accused of defecating on another driver's car during a road rage incident. And it was all captured on video. So if you YouTube it or Google it, or I'm sure it's out there. Police said the woman, later identified as 44-year-old Christina Salametto of Ridley Park, Pennsylvania, used the bathroom on top of a woman's car because the other driver evidently had cut her off in traffic, and she felt like this was the best way to handle it. So that's what has been going on there. Really strange. People just amaze me on, what's going on right now. Let's see. Kind of seeing what people were looking at in the last 24 hours. Let's see, past 4 hours. Ryan Gerard, they're looking at right now. Tornado watches in the country. Caleb Williams, Aston Martin, CarPlay Ultra, Ben Wang, Tiffany Trump, Coinbase, Justin Thomas, Chris Brown in jail. Is Chris Brown back in jail? Okay. R&B star Chris Brown arrested at 5-star UK hotel over a nightclub attack. He smashed a tequila bottle over the... I saw your video. Oh, well, hello. How are you? No, I'm just looking at some of the stories here that's trending. And I'm looking at this story with Chris Brown, arrested in the UK for allegedly smashing a tequila bottle over top of a music producer's head. What's wrong with these people? You got all this money, you got all this success, and I guess it just makes you miserable. Hi, can you say drummer? Drummer? Oh, was it a drummer? It says a music producer. Did I get that wrong? Let me see here. Over a music producer's head at a London nightclub 2 years ago. Wow, this happened 2 years ago. And it was in connection to the incident early Thursday. So, man, something must have happened 2 years ago that, got him into trouble again Thursday morning. Let's see. He'll remain in custody because of the 2023 incident. Police would not in any way, shape, or form give out any additional details. If somebody if you're around somebody that just wants you to hit them in the head with a tequila bottle, maybe you shouldn't be around that person. But Chris Brown, he's got some issues there. And again, he was under the influence. He was drinking, so that doesn't give him a pass. But then you're watching all this stuff with Diddy. SHA show. Are you a big fan of Chris Brown? These guys are talented people. That's the thing that gets you. Is that, why do they think they're above the law? That's the key question. He's a talented individual. He's saying that's like Kanye. Kanye is unbelievable talent there with one person, but just the anger and the rage that this young man has out there in the world toward everybody, it amazes me. It's just, I think a lot more people would embrace these people if they, just were good people and just not always, doing bonehead moves and things that like they do. And I get it, people hound them. I get that. I really do. But, it doesn't hurt just to be a good person. SHH Show Hockey Highlights. Big fan. I appreciate that. Now, SHH, where are you out of? Because we have a hockey team here in Virginia, the Roanoke Rail Yard Dogs. And they're out of the SPHL. And they've done really well. They won the championship a couple years ago, and they've done really well over the last few years. Thought they were going to have a better year this year, but it just didn't happen. And okay, out of Canada, great. The owners of the hockey team here in Roanoke are the McGinn brothers, and the McGinn brothers, there's three of them, and I think all three of them have played in the NHL. I know two of them. I know Jamie did with the Avalanche, and then I think one of them played with Pittsburgh and Carolina last year, 2 years ago, and I think it was Ty. And then they have one brother. I think he's playing overseas right now. But the McGinn brothers own the team that we have here in Virginia, and they've been extremely successful with what we're doing here in Roanoke. And we had one team, and the team was really successful here, but it just got to the point where they had run into a lull in winning and things like that, and they basically just shut down, and we went without hockey for years. And in Virginia, you don't think that you would have a hockey town, but boy, this little town we're in, Roanoke, has become a hockey town. And we average anywhere from, I think the largest crowd we had this year for them was right at 10,000. And we've got a small arena, and that's a sellout at 10,000. But I think they were averaging anywhere from 6,500 to 8,000 people there at one time coming in watching this team, and had a really good team this year. Got into that first round of playoffs and just couldn't put anything together. And the team that they had played, they were a lower seed, and everybody kind of felt like they would handle them fairly easily, but it didn't happen. They got bit, and boy, they got bit, here at home. So, but no, we follow hockey a lot, in this area because of the ties that we have. with the SPHL and what they're doing there. Now, besides what you're doing with show highlights, do you have any connection with hockey up there in Canada? Because we've got one young man here in Roanoke, and he's their play-by-play announcer, and boy, he's starting to get extremely good at what he's doing, being the play-by-play announcer for the Rail Yard Dogs. And it's only a matter of time before somebody steals him from us. You know, he'll. There's no doubt in my mind if things work the way they should, he'll be in the NHL one day calling hockey games. Let's see. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. Good hockey players. We get a lot of our guys from the Ivy League schools. We get a lot of them from, again, Canada. We have a couple colleges here in the area that have hockey teams. Liberty University is one of them, and we'll grab several of our players from those colleges because they're in our backyard and we get to see them, and we can figure out on whether or not we can utilize them here in Roanoke, and we've been successful doing that over the last couple of years. Because with our guys go up to the ECHL, and a lot of times if there's any signs of them being a quality player here in the valley, we lose them fairly quick. So we get to see them for a little while, and that's about it. And then sometimes we get players that are on the back end of their career and they're trying to find a home to shut it down. And these guys will come into town, and we get to the point to where we're just literally sitting there trying to figure out where these guys can go. And some of these guys, when they shut it down, they become realtors. They different jobs here in the valley, and accountants and things like that. But they don't leave Roanoke. They stay here in the valley, and their home could have been born in Canada and things like that. But they get here, they play several seasons, they fall in love with the valley, and next thing you know, they're living in the valley. I know we've got several players now. Two of them have become firefighters here in the valley, and I think we've got one that's a police officer. So you see that these guys, they meet someone, they have a family, they settle down, and instead of leaving the area, and again, the young lady could be from the area, but instead of leaving the area, they stay here and settle down. So that's what we get to see there. So not bad. But no, I saw that with Chris Brown and I had no clue. Let's see what else is trending today. What's going on? Caleb Williams didn't want to get drafted by the Bears. Who did? Who does? You went there, it happened. I guess you can cry about it a little bit, but at the end of the day, just play the game that they're paying you millions of dollars to play. Tiffany Trump welcomes her first baby. Congratulations there. It is Donald Trump's 11th grandchild. Okay. What's it say? Oh, first for Marla Maples. So it's her first granddaughter. Let's see. Nope, it's a son. I'm sorry. So first grandson. It was delivered at 4:44 a.m. So no, I'm in the studio right now and they won't let me go outside. Well, they will, but why? What's going on outside? Do you know something I don't know? You want to see my pole? Why do you want to see the pole? Why? A 1 foot plastic pool is not something you want to see. No, yeah, it's really not. You know, now the 6 foot pool, that's a different story. But the 1 foot pool, you don't know. It's where we give the dog a bath. You say yes. I get it. I understand. You say yes, you want to see the 1 foot pool. We got a mud strip in the backyard where the dog runs up and down the hill after squirrels and things like that. And so you have to have the small little pool because if he gets in the bigger pool, that's a nightmare. That is. But if you have the smaller pool, and God forbid he gets sprayed by a skunk, we've been through that, and that is not a fun experience. There are days that it has probably been months since he's gotten sprayed by a skunk, and I'm talking probably 100 baths, and you still smell that skunk on that dog occasionally. So it's always good to have one of the small plastic pools in the backyard, especially if you have pets and you are in an area to where skunks are around. Yes. One of my last videos, we were talking about, I had come up through the driveway and face to face with a deer. And I thought the deer was going to run me over, and I went one way and it went the other way across the street. And we got a lot of wildlife in Virginia. And it's funny to watch because these animals are just not afraid of you anymore. They just come right on up to you, and it's crazy the way, they're doing things with them. Let's see, I got to put a PSA in real quick. Okay. Here we go.
Small talk. Nobody likes small talk. It's boring, mindless, awkward, empty, painful, hard, pointless, and dull. But we'll take it. Donate your small talk to foster care, because just talking about the 700 kids that enter the system every day can help the 700 kids that enter the system every day. Learn more at donateyoursmalltalk.org. Brought to you by Fostermore.
Okay. We'll use that one. Always have to have PSAs on the air. And small talk. But no, I was sitting on the porch the other day, and we have chipmunks in the area. And I was watching these two little chipmunks go up and down into this car. It would jump from the street up into the car, up underneath the car, and it's a little scary because I don't know what those chipmunks are doing. I don't know if they're chewing on things underneath or, wires, if they're building, some kind of nest or something like it. But it's a little scary to watch these little chipmunks jump up and down into the bottom of your car. So I need to make sure that nothing is going on up underneath the vehicles. Because I know if you've got a car and you let it sit for a little while, especially in the South, uh-oh, game over. What happened? Why are we game overing? Don't game over. But I know in the South, especially for a lot of people, if they leave a car sitting for a little while, you'll have some animals that will build, rats and squirrels and little things like that that'll get up underneath your car, and they'll just find an area that they'll build a nest. And you go out one day to get into a car that, did you get any more people? Something in my YouTube. Yes, right now we're at 3. And then I have people come in, they go out. They come in, they go out. It's a process. Trust me. Oh, where'd you go? Can you submit my YouTube channel? Yes. Nope, I've got Adrian/15. So if you go on hers, you can definitely subscribe to Adrian. I will give you that. Then you have SHH Show Hockey Highlights, and you can go on that one. Yeah, I'm with you, Adrian. I think they meant sub, and they definitely need to come to you and sub as well. And hopefully we've got some good people out there watching, and we don't have any knuckleheads that cause you any problems. And yeah, no, SHH, you sent it was a little thing that said game over, and I'm trying to figure out what the game over was. I didn't know if you were leaving us but no, definitely subscribe. Subscribe to these other channels and let us know that you're watching, and we'll try to push people over to your channels. That is the least of that I can do for you. And again, that's SHH Show Hockey Highlights. And then Adrian, ADRIAN_15. So, and once I get off here, Adrian, I will subscribe to yours, which I think you're already on mine, but I will definitely be on yours. I don't know how the algorithms work. I don't know how you see my videos. If there's something that you and I probably watch, maybe it could be funny videos or something like that you and but I like doing the funny videos. Those are the ones because most people are not used to seeing a guy that looks like Santa Claus doing funny videos. So that's the fun I have when I do the videos, because they're like, wow, it's Santa. And so I like that humor. I like doing that. So, oh, you're fine, SHH. You're fine. I just saw that and I was like, what's going on? I didn't know if you were leaving us. But no, hopefully this gets to a point one day where it picks up, and to where, because you click on some of these, videos and live feeds from people, and man, it's hundreds of people just hanging out, and and not everybody's participating. That's the thing. It's just something that you're just hanging out for and listening to see what's going on and things like that. So not yet, but I will. I don't know if it will allow me. Hang on. Like I said, I'm new to this, so I need to when I definitely get off. Hang on. Aha. SHH. Show hockey. And then Adrian _15. No, I will subscribe to both of you. Yeah, but like I said, I don't know the algorithms. I don't know what happens to for me to be put into your feeds. When you're scrolling, I don't know why it kicks me into your feeds. I don't understand that just quite yet. Hopefully, I'll figure it out. But until then, but trying to get subscribers too as well, because I'm at right at 31,700, I think it is, and I've been extremely blessed to have that many. I got busted last time when they had started to monetize my videos, and they said that I was doing reaction videos, but the videos that I was doing, I was using other people's content, and they said that I couldn't react to other people. It was really strange, but they've taken me out of being monetized. So that right now is something that I'm trying to get back into, figuring out how to get monetized again, building back up to the 4,000 watch hours. And to do the shorts is what, 10 million? You got to have 10 million shorts or something like that views. And I think I'm setting on 50,000 right now over the last month. And it's a lot of views for shorts, especially when you're only getting 1,800 people at a time reviewing everything. So let me see what else I got here. Oh. I get a lot of PSA requests to where public service announcements so we can run on the radio. So I will get a lot of those. Oh, I got knocked down to one person watching. Everybody left me, except for one. Hopefully there's more, but it's just not showing me. Oh, now we're back at 2. So we're getting there. But no, I will definitely subscribe. Once the video's over, I will go in and subscribe. So if you're one of the people that's on the channel right now and you want me to subscribe to your channel, just put a comment. Let me know who you are, and I will subscribe to your channel. I have no issue doing that. You subscribe to me, I'll subscribe to you. That's just the way that the world works. Let's try to build these numbers up. Okay. All right. Okay. Got that one. Got that one. All right. Let me work on something real quick here. And see. See what's going on in sports history today. At the start of every show that we do, we always do a trivia segment. And we ask 3 questions and we see if the person maybe knows or the listener knows what the answer is. All right, like this. 1973, this California Angel throws the first of his no-hitters, and he beats the Kansas City Royals 3-0. Do you know that? And Nolan Ryan, the Ryan Express. Then 1981, this group of individuals appears on Gilligan's Island that airs on NBC. Do you know who that is? The Harlem Globetrotters. Now, how did they end up on the island? That's what I want to know. So, and Dawn Wells, the young lady who played Mary Ann on Gilligan's Island, she spent a lot of time here in the town that I'm in Roanoke, Virginia. And she dated a gentleman from here in Roanoke. And so, pretty neat. (1991) U.S. President and Queen goes to an Oakland A's Baltimore Orioles game. The Queen found the game to be dull after 2 innings. Yeah. So, how you like that? She didn't want to have anything to do with us. No baseball. Okay. Yeah, but I've got to come up with those 3 questions, and then we'll go from there with the 3 questions, and not too bad. And then after the 3 questions, we do a joke of the day. And sometimes finding the joke of the day is a little bit more difficult than the 3 trivia questions that we do. I think yesterday was, did you know in high school that my nickname was Glue? I don't know who gave it to me. It just kind of stuck. You know, not a good joke. But it's a dad joke. And we laugh at them because they're dad jokes. So, ooh. I shouldn't be drinking those, but I'm drinking them. You see the hat? The hat says Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper. They are one of the sponsors for the show, so Dr. Pepper. All right, guys, I'm going to hop off of here. Thanks for everybody. And again, I'm going to go ahead and subscribe to these 2 that are here. If you watch this video later, go ahead and leave a comment, and I will subscribe to you guys. Thank you. Bye now.